Hello everyone, welcome to our panel discussion on the carbon credit announcement that was made on Thursday by the Government of Guyana and Hess Corporation. Joining us we have several Tushaus who are also members of the National Tushaus Council as well. We have the head of the Tushaus Council, which is Mr. Derek John, Shane Cornelius, the Tushau of Kara, Region 7, Sonia, who is a Tushau of Bethany, Region 2, and Tushau of St. Cuthbert's Mission, Mr. Timothy Andrews. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Can we have your thoughts on the announcement that was made on Thursday by the President of Guyana as well as Hess Corporation on the $750 million which will be paid for our carbon credit?
Okay, so first of all, it was a groundbreaking news. It marked a very historic moment for Guyana, but it comes along from a very long journey, because this whole discussion had started in 2007 under the leadership of former President Bar Jack Leo. In 2009, the country had crafted, under his leadership, the first LCDS. And then we know that we had a bilateral agreement with Norway, where Guyana benefited for several millions of US dollars. And so with the announcement last Thursday, and then the signing agreement on Friday, 2nd, I think it's a big achievement for Guyana, having $750 million for carbon credit. I think it speaks volume of the leadership that Guyana plays in terms of fighting climate change.
Right.
And so I think there that this will contribute a lot to Guyana's development, and more so not forgetting the indigenous communities. I think it's something that we all welcome.
I think Guyana over the years has demonstrated that it is one of the leading countries in the world in terms of protecting and safeguarding our forests. Our country is, as most persons would know, is one of the Amazon countries, and we have a large one. I think the second largest forest cover in the world. Recognizing that, along with some visionary leadership of our past president and even now this government, the current president, we have continuously demonstrated to the world that we are interested in safeguarding our forests. The forests are very important to us because it's where the indigenous peoples live, and as stewards of the forests, we feel proud to know that our leaders are committed towards ensuring that our livelihoods are protected, at the same time ensuring that we develop turning our natural resource into something that can benefit us as well as the country. So we are grateful, and we are proud to know that we are a country that continue to lead in safeguarding our forests.
Right. Thank you, Cornelius. Next, tell us a little bit about the plans that you have for the expenditure of the funds that will be dedicated to each one of your communities. I believe it's 15% of the $750 million, which is roughly $112 million, right? And this is for this specific carbon credit signed with Hess. But every other carbon credit deal that will be signed, 15% of that will also be dedicated towards hinterland development. So tell us a little bit about the plans that you have, or the ideas you'd like to, bring forth within your community.
Well, I think the whole initiative is to bridge the gap between coastland and hinterland communities.
Right.
Because if we are to compare the development that is on the coast, hinterland is a little bit behind. So now that we have the resources available, now we need to have a structured plan to able to have these infrastructures in our villages and communities. We need to improve on different services like the health services, the education sector, infrastructure, better roads, and you can name it. And these are some of the things that will go directly to indigenous communities. But more so, one of the emerging things that we are also focusing on is ecotourism, which
Right.
it's very important, and it fits in directly to the LCDS 2030, because we talk a lot about sustaining our forests, so that we can able to have an intact natural resources there, where it plays a very critical role in terms of balancing the climate of the world, because coming out of COP27, where we know that the grave danger of, if countries are not putting action into place, is that we can have a global catastrophe probably in a couple of years time. So this is very crucial, and I think there that presently now indigenous communities, they are developing what we call VIPs, village development plans. So we have a structure in place, so when these monies start to flow, is that already we have a mechanism in place, so that we know how these money will be invested to improve the lives of our indigenous brothers and sisters right across Guyana.
Right. Thank you, Tusho, Derek, John. I want some specific interventions that will happen that you guys plan to use within your communities to develop it. Anything specific that you're looking forward to?
I think before I can go further, let me commend the government of Guyana for this progressive move, I must say, in having our forests be the storage for carbon, and for signing such a mega deal, multi-million deal. And it, again, like some of my colleagues said, it will not only benefit the coastal or the country itself, but it also, most importantly, will benefit Amerindian people of Amerindian communities. Like Tusha Shane said, we have been the protectors of the forests for hundreds of years now, and I think this move really comes at the right time. I think that one of the areas that, from my perspective as a Tusha for my village, and I share this, I'm sharing this, and I know that other communities, village leaders will share the same sentiment as well. Many communities many communities depend on lumber, and it's just safe to say that this signing is just another big option that we'll have to diversify from logging and to continue to save our forests. So it gives us that opportunity, or that option, to say, look, we can now develop our communities in a more sustainable way, where we can have our loggers, desist or minimize the destroying of our logging sector in the community or forest. So this is definitely an area that my community will be looking at, how we can minimize the destruction of our forests and to continue to keep our forests preserved. So it again adds that opportunity where we can say, look, let us focus heavily on our culture, let us focus heavily on tourism, and get our men who are day in day out in the as we say in local terms, bagdam, bring them back into our communities and create that job opportunities for them. So from my village point of view, that is some of the areas we'll be looking at. We do have vast land on our reservation, if I may put it that way. But again, this is just a wonderful opportunity for us to really go right into agriculture and to develop both our agriculture and our tourism sector in our communities.
Right. Thank you, Tusho Andrews. Lastly, let's get some general thoughts on government's intervention in hinterland communities. Besides the carbon credit announcement, what else is being done within your communities?
Well, before we go there, I want to add to what Tusho Timothy had said. Traditionally, indigenous peoples they are focused a lot on farming, and they are good farmers.
Right.
But one of the challenges that we had faced is that having those produce to market, it was a very costly exercise because remember, transporting it from the
Right.
hinterland to the coast where the market base is, and it's a costly exercise. So I think that now that we have that money, we have the need to start setting up small cottage industries that will be able to process those farm produce. So it will create ready market for those produce in your village. It will create job and opportunities for young people and sometimes women, but it also will add value to that produce there. So that is something that I would like to see happen because sometimes there you just go and you see there's a lot of produce there, and it's that the surplus is so much that sometimes you just cannot take it out because the shelf life is is a little bit limited, and there's a big loss. And so having these processing facilities in communities, I think, would be a big plus for indigenous communities. And some communities, it varies. Some would want to see other things like going into cattle rearing or poultry rearing. So various, because it's not one type fit all community. We all depends upon the geographical location
Right.
and things. So communities will need to look at what is relevant to their village, so that they can able to plan strategically to utilize those funds in a meaningful way.
Yeah, and if I may add as well, it's again, like I said, just another great opportunity for us to develop our communities in a more sustainable way. And the input of the government of Guyana, since I have been in position for a year and a half now, it has been real tremendous. Their input, their dedication, their commitment towards Amerindian communities and Amerindians across the country then has been something that, as a young leader, you're looking forward for. You're looking to for that that somebody that you can call upon and say, look, because as a young leader and as leaders, I think that my colleague here can share the same things. We go through so much as leaders. It's a position that you really have to be dedicated to, and if you can't, fulfill what your I don't want to say a promise, but what you're mandated to do, and you don't have the resources, it's very difficult to accomplish. But when you have a government like what we have now, it makes the job a bit easier for us. And I'm just looking forward to continue working with the government of Guyana on this now signed agreement, and also how my village can, what more we have to do to continue to support the LCDS.
Okay, sir.
Well, from my end, from Caro Village, we have seen vast improvement since 2020 when they returned to power. So I think this government has been doing a great job in terms of advancing the development of Amerindian peoples in general. They have committed in their manifesto and they are delivering. I must say they're delivering at a fast rate. As a young leader as well, I'm excited to be in the leadership at this time of our country, because I, like the government, I consider myself as someone who is proactive and always busy. So I need this as a leader. You need that kind of support as well from the government. So with this new development, it just adds more excitement to the already relationship that we have. So we as leaders, all of us has visions for our communities, and this adds to us achieving that vision in line with the national vision, right? So in general sense, we look forward to this. We at the last NTC we passed a resolution where we support the LCDS, and now we are seeing the LCDS becoming, the benefits of LCDS 2030 becoming actually fruitful with practice. And this is just the first stage of the carbon sale. This is only 30%. We still have a 70% more where we can get more monies coming into our community. So at the village level, I think one of the most areas that we would be focusing on is mostly on livelihood projects. Projects that can generate income for the village and as well as create employment for our people. Because a lot of times our people have been migrating and moving to the coast, and in order for your community to develop, you need your people within the village. So as leader, I see this as opportunity so that we can put forward income generating projects, introduce, diversify, as my colleagues said, diversify the village economy, move into agriculture, move into ecotourism, move into other areas that our persons can become skilled and be in the village so that our village can develop. And definitely it would reduce the divide that exists from the coast to the hinterland. But generally speaking, we are excited at this time to be part of this process, and we are looking forward for the continued support. And we will continue to give the government the support as well, so that together we can move Guyana forward.
Thank you.
Yes, and from Bethany, I must first go back to your first question. I know I didn't mention anything before, but when I heard about the agreement being signed, I was in school because I'm a teacher as well, and everyone was like, "Why are you happy about this?" And I started to explain to them, and then it's we have put in the work as indigenous people. We have conserved, and it is a feeling of great accomplishment. And now that we do not have to focus on just oil, we have our carbon credits, to sell and where we can benefit from it. And as indigenous peoples, I think we are really happy about it. And like my colleagues mentioned, we will continue to develop our village, and not only to depend on the 1.5 presidential grant that we usually get from the government or the COVID relief alone. Of course, we are very much thankful, but now we have additional finance coming into our villages so that we can further develop our villages and bridge the gap between the coastland and the hinterland. So I think it's a very, very good move by the government. And like my colleagues mentioned, we are here to support the government or to complement what the government has in store for us so that we can further develop Guyana and further develop it and push it to that one Guyana that we all want to see.
Right. Thank you so much, Sonia. And that was our panel discussion on the announcement that was made on Thursday by the President of Guyana and his corporation on the carbon credit sale. Thank you so much for watching, and do join us again next time.